Petroleum drilling is a huge market in the U.S., providing the country with a very important resource that the United States runs on. However, oil production has many detrimental consequences on the environment, especially the ocean. Oil spills are a huge source of ocean pollution, happening when huge oil tankers, pipelines, or just recreational boats accidentally pour large amounts of oil into the ocean. In addition to tanker transports and pipelines, there are also natural oil seeps that deposit oil out into the ocean through cracks in the ground. The main oil spills we are worried about, though, are large-scale human oil spills that we have the ability to reduce. These disasters have gotten less frequent over the years due to policies limiting the discharge of oil into the ocean, such as the Oil Pollution Act of 1990. However, there's still a huge issue that causes negative impact to the environment and its organisms, as well as the economy. Oil spills have a huge impact on the ocean and its marine life. The photo on the right shows that there are two different types of oil spills, ones that happen deep out into the ocean and others that happen near and touching shoreline. The spills that happen away from shore tend to be less harmful, as the oil gets moved around and more dispersed by the waves and wind. Spills near shore are more harmful and have longer-term consequences. This chart shows that spills farther out at sea naturally recover faster than those close to shore. The graphic on the left shows the effects oil can have on marine life based on its concentration. The impact on marine wildlife. Birds and mammals are the most affected organisms by oil spills compared to fish and phytoplankton. Fish and whales can usually swim under the oil and are largely unaffected by it, while phytoplankton reproduce so fast that the oil has little to no impact on their population. Other marine life closer to shore, such as turtles, dolphins, and seals, are more affected by oil spills than fish. For these marine animals and birds, them or their prey can get contaminated by toxic substances. Habitats for many animals can also be destroyed, mainly coral reefs being harmed by the change of chemicals in the ocean. Oil spills can also negatively affect the U.S. economy due to the large amount of money and work that goes into cleaning them up, as well as the loss of supply of seafood products and ocean recreation. They can also impact the amount of clean drinking water from rivers or lakes. This graphic shows some of the negative effects that oil spills can have on humans and more vulnerable populations that live near the coast, and those that partake in the cleanup process. The chemicals associated can have many negative effects on physical health if exposed to them for too long, such as cancer risks, respiratory stress, and fatigue. There are also economic effects such as property damage, disruption of local industry, and market impairment. They can also instill a sense of unsafety or distrust in the government and corporations, damaging areas that people once held close to them or grew up in. Populations that rely on seafood supply and other natural resources that are affected by oil spills can also suffer from lack of food supply and resources that they rely on. The main way of preventing oil spills is to move towards more renewable forms of energy that aren't as harmful to the environment. But due to the demand for gasoline and petroleum in our society, and the huge amounts of profit its production brings corporations, government officials and other people in high positions of power refuse to push for regulations on the use of oil. In the infographic on the left, you can see that more people than not want oil drilling to continue in the U.S., the brief evening out of the two due to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. The individual can contribute to this cause by lobbying against the continuation of oil drilling and protesting for more clean energy. In addition to the prevention of spills, people who live in coastal regions can also volunteer to help clean up animals and beaches that have been affected by the oil. An example of this political action is with the opposition to the expansion of the Keystone Pipeline, which itself has dumped millions of gallons of tar sands into rivers. The planned expansion of the pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline, was widely hated by activists and protested against, ultimately putting a halt to its construction. Moving towards more sustainable forms of energy and decreasing the amount of pipelines and tankers transporting oil would significantly reduce the risk of oil spills. While new regulations are helping to reduce the amount of oil spill incidents, much more action is needed to prevent further pollution of our oceans by crude oil and keep the ocean and all of us that benefit from it happy and healthy.